be careful out there. See, when I worked in dermatology, we would get patients that would have sexual relationships with people. Some were married, some were not married, some were dating. But in the times that we are living in, or forever, it's very important that you don't play games with yourself, with life, because we would get patients that would go in there, and a lot of the times I think people don't seek help because they are embarrassed. But we would get patients and then they would just be like, oh, I have something down there growing, and then we were just like, okay, like what happened? And they would be like, oh, I met somebody on the app. And like, you have to think about it, it was just one time they had sex, just one time, and because of that one time that they had sex, they got HPV. That one time, HPV is genital warts, and men are usually the carriers, and sometimes it doesn't affect men, but every time that men, obviously, are more sexually active than women, every time that you go and you be with somebody, you're risking your whole life to have genital warts. You have to understand that people would go in there with genital warts all over, from the front to the back, men and women, and you can't get rid of it. There's no way to cure it. They have to go to the dermatologist and they have to get it frozen. Sometimes the men would be married and they would cheat on their wives, and they would tell the doctor, what am I going to tell my wife? And then the doctor would say, tell her the truth. And they would say, like, can I just tell her that I got it at the gym? And he would say, no, you can't tell her that you got it at the gym. That's lying. And you're giving somebody else an STD just because you wanted to go have sex. Every time that you have sex, you're putting your life at risk, and you cannot get rid of it. There's no cure, there's no pill, there's no way to get rid of it. And you just keep passing it and passing it and passing it and passing it. Because there's really, like, you could do a blood test, but it doesn't come out in the blood test. You could just see it by checking it, and sometimes it's dormant and sometimes it comes back alive. But the whole thing is that it spreads. So you can have it in the front and then it ends up spreading to the back, and then next thing you know, your front and your back is full of genital warts. And when you masturbate, you're getting them on your hands. So it's also very important that you go to restaurants that use gloves. I know a lot of people are not very careful, but they're touching your food.